Welcome back, everyone. We're answering question number 115 of our In the Inbox series. And this week's question was asked to us by Allison. And she said, how long can I stay in Belize as a foreigner? Allison is exploring Belize as a place to relocate to. She wants to check out different areas of the country. And so she's planning to spend a few months here. So first and foremost, as a North American, you will get a stamp in your passport when you come into the country for 30 days. You do not need to apply online for this tour visa. This is something that you're granted. You will fill out an online immigration form, but that is something instead of the paper forms now as you're coming into the country. But you'll give them your e-form, they'll stamp your passport for 30 days. And then what happens? What happens when you want to extend it for another 30 days? Then they have what they call the visitor's permit extension. And this is 200 Belize dollars per person for another 30 days, 100 US per person for another 30 days. And this, who can qualify for this permit, is essentially someone who wants to extend their time here in Belize, or perhaps someone who's working towards their permanent residency. In order to qualify for your permanent residency, you have to be in the country for a full year or 50 out of 52 weeks in order to qualify. So of course, you're going to be needing to get this permit extension. So you do need to physically go to the immigration office in order to do this. Depending where in the country you are, there may be an immigration office in your town. If not, then you're going to have to find the one closest to you and physically go in person. In some offices, they will extend your visa for up to 3 months. So you'll be paying 300 US dollars or 600 Belize per person if you're choosing to go that route. But it is completely up to the immigration officer if they want to do it for up to 3 months, or else they'll give it to you in a 30-day period and you'll have to come back every 30 days in order to do that. With that being said, I do have a couple of tips for you if you're going to be here in Ambergris Caye and San Pedro when you visit immigration. Number one is check your passport to confirm when your stamp expires. And this is true not just for being in San Pedro, but this is true for anybody regardless. Just make sure that it is an actual 30 days that's in your stamp. Sometimes they miscalculate the dates when you're there at immigration, and they may have given you an extra day, may have taken off a week accidentally. So you always want to make sure that that is the date, that date is in there, is familiar to you, so that you're going to immigration before that stamp expires. Here on Ambergris Caye, the immigration office is in the Wings Plaza. This is Tropic Air. This is the airstrip over here. And then Wings Plaza is right across the street from Tropic Air. So it's centrally located here in town. And that's where you're going to go in order to get your visa renewed. As we just said, they're in Wings Plaza. And also, as we mentioned, the cost is 200 Belize dollars, 100 US per person per 30 days. So do bear that in mind. You'll need to be bringing them Belize dollars, or you can use your credit card. In addition to that, be prepared. So what they want to see when you're going to immigration is really understanding why it is that you're extending your stay. If it's simply going to be because you really enjoy it here and you're not ready to go home yet, then you will want to be prepared and have maybe a lease, or perhaps you want to have the accommodations of where you're staying, a printout of that with the dates that you're going to be there, just as proof. In addition to that, if you own property here and you're going to be staying at your property, it doesn't hurt to have a copy of the title with you, and then also to provide a bank statement. What they really want to ensure is that you are not working here in the country under the visitor's visa. That is really, really important. They're very, very strict on this. You cannot be engaging in business deals. You cannot be opening a business and running it then if you don't have your work permit. There's a few hoops that you need to go through if you do want to work here in the country. And when you're here in the visitor visa, working is not an option. So you do want to be bearing that in mind as well. But when you go to the immigration office, just have proof of backing up you being here so that they can validate that for you. And then also check for Belize holidays ahead of time. Here in Belize, we do tend to have a lot of holidays. For example, November 19th is Garifuna Settlement Day. September 21st is Belize Independence Day. But they don't always observe the holiday on the exact day that it falls on the calendar. So you'll want to just check online, check the calendar online to see what holiday it is. Because if your visa is on the holiday, they're not going to be open. And then you're going to be late. And then also check to see if it's on the weekend, because if it falls on a Saturday, you probably want to go to immigration on the Friday. If it falls on Sunday, then you can still go to immigration. I'd say Monday, but Friday would probably be your best bet, just to make sure you're on the safe side. You do not want to be late. You do technically, if you are late, then you're in the country illegally and they can deport you and kick you out. So you just want to make sure you're doing things the right way. And by doing that, you're staying vigilant. You're looking at your passport, you're understanding the dates and deadlines. And then if you're going to be here for a few months and this is all new to you, check out where the immigration office is before. Be familiar with your passport. Have your Belize dollars or your cards ready in order to go through this process. And then also have that backup paperwork just in case they ask it. They may not ask at all, but it's better to have it rather than asking you not having it, having to go home and then come back and all of those. Now, I always recommend Belize is a very relationship-based country, so it doesn't hurt to bring some cookies or some chocolate from the chocolate factory. Just get to know the people that are going to be helping you and stamping you every month. It does go an absolute long way. And don't give them grief. They're just doing their job. They got to stamp you, for you to be here legally. So you want to make sure you're on their good side. With that being said, if you are looking to own real estate here in Belize, please reach out to our team. In addition to this resource, we have an incredible array of other resources for you that you can learn from. And then, of course, if you're liking the information that you're hearing, make sure you're liking and subscribing. And we would love to hear in the comment section below any other questions that you would like to know the answers to, and we can get started on those for our In the Inbox series. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. We hope you learned a lot, and we look forward to seeing you here in Paradise soon. Bye-bye.